I'll move to big stories yesterday and today. NBA draft, big deal. We'll we'll do the first round first, and then we'll get to the real news, which is the second round. Um, but I guess to start here, Atlanta taking I don't know how you pronounce it, Rissasher? Say it?
Risa
Rissasher?
Shea.
Rissasher?
Madame Barbu would be disappointing you, buddy.
Why is he from France?
Yeah.
He's from France? Okay, I didn't know that.
You didn't know the top two were France.
No, I thought SARS Australia.
No, Cyrus, he played in Australia. He's from France.
Whoa, that's
You didn't
last
know?
3 years, the top three picks. French. Wow. That's crazy. Wemby, Ricochet, Sar. That's
Then
wild.
you had Frank Ntilikina, you had Killian Hayes.
Yeah. Well, not
But
Killian.
yeah, back-to-back French first round picks.
Um, and what position does Ricochet play?
Risa Shea is a 6'9" forward. So he's a
Not
very
a center.
versatile wing. He can shoot on the move, competitive, versatility defensively. He's played at like something about European ball players. They just have more experience. Look at Luca.
Well, I mean, they play with grown men over there.
I know, and they're
Like
like they
guys who are
learn
like
fundamentals.
33
Yeah,
who are just trying to make some kind of career because they get paid.
yeah, and they learn fundamentals too. They're not just scorers. Because I feel like over here they're very like scoring like minded. Like over there, that's why so many
It's
Europeans.
about like technique over there. I
Yeah,
think.
it's like team playing everything. It's not just like
Well, because the
I
coaches
feel.
there, because like the games really matter there. So
Yeah,
like you play poorly, like money matters, winning matters. So like a lot of those guys, like this is all they have. So you play bad, the coaches there are cutthroat. They will change it in a flash.
yeah, they don't play favorites over there either.
Exactly. So if you're a good player, there's a really good chance that you actually are. Um, I
Well,
guess
let
I
me
guess
go
I
over
want to
it.
think though. Do you think this is a good pick, or should they have taken Sar?
Apparently Sarr didn't want to play there.
There's some rumor that his agent was saying that like they refused to do the private workout or whatever,
Yeah,
and for Atlanta, and then the agent like just
yeah, but
didn't want him to go
I
there. But
understand. I understand why they took him. I feel like he has a lot of potential. I feel like they're banking on that. And they
mhm,
needed a wing too. He's a 6'9" wing. He's a big guy. He's probably still growing. Pause.
mhm.
Um, and they didn't need Alex Sarr because Alex Sarr is a power forward center. They have Onyeka Okongwu. They have Clint Capella. Capella's probably getting traded, but Risa Shea, only thing he's not very strong. He's very lanky.
Wouldn't you think though that the combination of Sar and Trey Young, assuming Trey Young stays, would have been like a pretty good one?
I think so, but I think they just didn't want that risk because, like, why would they want to take a player that doesn't want to play there? It's not like Kawhi where they have him for a
Yeah,
year.
but then maybe they could have done, something crazy. Like maybe they
Oh,
could have
like a
drafted
draft,
him,
like a trade, draft and trade.
drafted him, and then now you have an asset, right?
Mm,
Because here's the thing because I remember seeing some stuff saying that, oh, players should actually get more say in where they go. It's like, then don't enter the draft.
hmm.
Don't enter. Like I get like just tell every single team that you don't want to
Yeah,
play for them, and then just you might as well just go and pick if you're gonna do that.
yeah,
Otherwise, the point of the draft is you go to a team that needs you, right?
hmm,
And if Atlanta did want to take him and he didn't want to go there, it's like, well, they have the first pick and they're in that position and they want to take the best player. And maybe probably Sar is that in the moment. I just don't think I actually disagree. I think that the player shouldn't get if you're entering the draft, you don't get a
hmm,
say.
yeah,
You're choosing to be drafted anyways. That's what a draft is. You're
yeah,
getting picked. You're not supposed to have some kind of say in it, right?
hmm,
What Atlanta should be doing then is they should draft him. They should if they find out that he doesn't want to play for them, okay, try and make a move. Obviously he'll be worth less, so then maybe you think maybe they should have just traded the first overall pick. Maybe they should have just moved it. I'm
but
sure
I
the
think
other
they're
team they would have
rebuilding.
wanted
They're
Sarr.
definitely trading Trey or Dejounte. Honestly, I
DeJounte
think
is what it
they should
sounds
trade
like
both.
right now.
I
Do you
think
think they
that
trade
they should
both?
trade both because they're not in a win now mode. I mean, Trey's still
Well,
young. He's
they should
25.
trade to Spurs.
I saw that, but we'll get into their stuff later.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think
Those are the top
it
three.
was a good pick. They needed a wing.
Yeah. Then number three, Rockets took Shepherd. What are you thinking about that one?
You skipping number two?
Well, we just talked about Sarr. I mean, oh, okay. Well, I mean, he's in Washington. It's a bit of a
Yeah.
weird.
I mean, they needed honestly they need everyone.
They need everyone. I would say though that he didn't want to go to Atlanta. Why did he want to go to Washington? Like, what would be the difference? Like, what he wants to play in a different city.
Honestly,
He
I have
wants
no
more
idea.
minutes. He'll probably get the same amount of minutes there that he would get here.
Maybe it was the coaching, maybe it was like the
Maybe.
city. I don't know. I feel like
Yeah,
there's more stuff to do in Atlanta than
there probably is. So it's a bit of a weird one. But I mean, huge win for Washington. They got to be happy
yeah.
with that.
Rim protector, switch defender. He can handle the ball a little bit, jump
Yeah.
shooter, but he needs to be consistent with that more.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll have like a role with Jordan Poole, but he's definitely going to be a big part of the rebuild.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I hope that both of those top two picks work out. Like, I hope that Atlanta didn't get, screwed and then Ricochet
Oh,
doesn't turn into
yeah.
anything.
I mean,
Um,
apparently Sarr and his camp prefer the Wizards rebuild because it was uncluttered and
um,
a good developmental landing spot.
yeah, I don't know if I agree with
I mean,
that.
we'll see about that too. But number three,
Um,
Reed
Number
Shepherd.
three, Rockets took Shepherd. What are you thinking?
It's a good pick. They need shooters.
Need shooters.
6'2" from Kentucky.
Love my Kentucky guys.
Yeah, I think he's the first Kentucky player to go this high since Cat. So that's like 9
Big
years.
deal. Big deal.
But Kentucky guys are usually really good.
It's a
So
rejuvenated program, so they're
yeah,
they're starting to get back into it. But
6'2", 182. But he's more of a shooter, but he's an undersized like guard. So hopefully he can pick that up. Doesn't
well,
have
the
like
the weird thing is that they've got two of those now because they've got Van Vliet there as well, and now
yeah.
they've got Shepherd. So it's how is he defensively? Would you say, if you know?
He averaged like 2.5 steals, but I know steals aren't everything. But
Yeah,
most he's just a 3-point specialist because he shot 52.5%. I don't think people understand how insane that is.
yeah, that is. I mean, you're making half your shots,
Yeah,
so
no matter what, if it's contested or not, there's a 52% chance of it going in. That's crazy.
that is crazy.
And he
Okay.
has a high vert. I think he hit a 42-inch vert. So
Mhm.
this white boy can jump.
Yeah, yeah,
But he
yeah.
doesn't have a wingspan, so limits him as a defender and finishing in traffic. But
Mhm.
I think it's a good pick. But it's interesting how they're going to use this because they have Jalen Green, they have Cam Whitmore, they have Eamon Thompson, no, Asar Thompson, they have Van Vliet. They're very undersized guards, so I think they should have gone with a wing here. But I guess they're banking on Shepard's like upside. So maybe when Van Vliet's contract ends, Shepard will fill out that role.
Mhm.
Because he's a small guy, 6'2",
Yeah.
and Jalen
Yes.
Green is what, 6'5", 6'4"?
Six. I thought 6'5", but
Yeah, 6'5", but still that's undersized for a wing.
undersized. Well,
He's that's
especially because the way the league is trending right
yeah.
now, they're moving into taller
My
player
favorite pick though,
positions.
number four.
Yeah,
Favorite,
Castle to um, what's called Spurs. This is a big move
great pick.
because they didn't have anyone really at the one or two, and now this guy kind of slot. I mean, all right. One thing I'll say is that this draft is considered to be a weak draft, but so these guys might need a little bit more development, but this is the right pick for them, I think, rebuilding wise, um,
Mhm.
because they need someone else to go along with Wemby. We'll
Yeah.
see what kind of free agent signings they make to try
Mhm.
and add to this, because maybe they should be looking at getting a veteran guard like Chris Paul or Reggie Jackson who just got traded,
Yeah,
or
to the Hornets.
someone else just to have ahead of him that he can work with, but he doesn't have the
I don't think
pressure
the
of the
Spurs
next.
will get Chris Paul though. He wants someone
I don't think so. I mean, someone like that, right?
yeah,
Someone
a
kind
mentor.
of exactly, but also
Wait,
someone that
wait,
takes
wait,
the
they
pressure off.
have one. They have one. They probably have Tony Parker, Ginobili will help him out.
No, no, but I just mean like playing wise on the
Oh
court.
yeah.
He's not going to start every single game, is what I mean. Like have someone in front of him for year one who
Yeah.
takes most of the pressure, who's someone who's handled it for years, and he's a veteran, and you can kind of figure it out. Which we'll discuss what free agent moves teams should be
Yeah.
making next week when we talk about this.
Yeah,
But
I'll make
I
a
also agree with you. This is a really good move. This was exactly what the
pick.
Spurs
Yeah.
needed. They got to draft for need, and they got to draft for a high level player. Works out.
I mean, he's 6'6". He's
Yeah,
from UConn, off a championship. Dan Hurley, good coach.
yeah.
Probably Popovich probably talked to him and said, "Yeah, this guy's good."
Love Dan
Draft
Hurley. Love Dan Hurley.
6'6". He's two-way.
Yep.
He can't really shoot. He shot just 27%, but I think if anyone's going to develop him well, it's the
It'll be
Spurs.
pop. It'll be
Yeah.
pop.
I mean, if you remember, Kawhi couldn't shoot for shit, but then now Kawhi turned into what, 40% 3-point shooter, 39 above average.
Well, that's also why you want a veteran to be ahead of him. That
Yeah.
way he can take the pressure off to start figuring out his shot, working on it quite
Hmm.
more, and it'll work itself out, I think. And
It's a
then
great pick though.
yeah, and then number five Pistons take Holland the second.
This is also a very good pick. I like it.
Yeah.
Physical, aggressive, versatile wing, but the only bad thing is he can't shoot. And then you cannot have in basketball nowadays, you can't have more than four guys that can't shoot. Oh, more than one guy that can't shoot.
Yeah.
Because think of their lineup. They have Cade, Jaden Ivey, Ron Holland,
Hmm.
Amin Thompson, and Jalen Duren. Three of those guys cannot shoot.
Yeah.
Holland, Thompson, and Duren.
Yeah.
But he's athletic, 6'7". I don't know if you heard him talk. He sounds like a grown ass man.
Most
But
of these guys do.
this guy's athletic. I think he's gonna pair great with Cade. But the only thing is he just needs to shoot. He just needs to work on a shot. He has
Yeah.
that league ignite experience, in the
Hmm.
G League. Um, I didn't know he ruptured his tendon in his right thumb. I think he'll be okay, but
It'll be
he's
fine.
young.
Yeah.
He's 19 or he's 18. He actually might be 18, but I
He'll be
think
19 probably by beginning of the season.
he's the best player available, I think.
It's a good play. Now I think out of the top five, let's move into kind of more notable picks. We won't go through every single pick,
I mean, you
but
want to just do the top 10
oh sure, we can do the top 10 if you want to.
or
Next
top?
one,
We'll do top 13. I like the
top
top
13.
13.
All right, so what do you think about the number six pick with the
Number
Hornets?
6, I ain't gonna lie, I don't know nothing about this guy,
I was gonna say I don't know anything either, so I was hoping you got something. But
but he is a power
this is
forward.
down to a scouting job and drafting for kind of
Need,
drafting for need a little bit.
but
Uh,
still a little bit of like upside.
yeah, this was more of I think a preference pick
Mm,
because the guy who went right after him, what's his name? Klingon from UConn as well.
yeah,
He's like 7'3" or 7'2",
yeah,
and he was really really good for UConn this year.
yeah.
So like he was going toe to toe with Zach Edey this year, and he's a really good player. I thought he was actually going to go in the top five.
You just
Five
get
a little
number
bit.
6.
I what are we going to say about him?
Okay,
Yeah.
TJ
Like say it. I don't know.
Tajon,
I don't.
Mr. I can't even pronounce Salon. I can't even pronounce the guy.
I don't know the last
Okay,
name either.
6'9", power forward out of France. They needed a power forward because I think who's their center? Mark Williams. Mark Williams has played great with LaMelo,
Yep.
and now you have Brandon Miller, LaMelo when he's healthy, Mark Williams, and TJ Saloon. I'll just call him that. I don't care. But
Say TJ.
he's 18 from France, so you're hoping he has that experience.
Yeah.
He's only 18. A great long-term upside. Um, he's a shot maker and he's good defensively. But the only thing is he needs ball handling, inconsistent with his processing speed. Okay, you're just calling this guy slow at this point. God, he's only 18. Relax.
Yeah.
These guys are mean. But yeah, it was a good pick for the Hornets.
Yeah.
They got
Uh,
what they need power
in
forward.
top six, honestly, you're drafting just for value, I
Yeah.
think, at that point. And that's why Portland at seven taking Klingon. This
Oh
is
yeah, I
a
know their lineup now. Yeah. It's gonna be LaMelo. What's his name? Brandon Miller.
Aaron Miller.
This guy, Tijan, um, Miles Bridges, Mark Williams. That's a solid, kind of young team to build around. But
Yep.
yeah, we'll move on to pick number 7, your guy, Donovan Clingan.
Klingon,
What
I
are your
love
thoughts?
this guy. Dude, I think he's going to be really good. What'll be better for them is if Scoot Henderson kind of turns into the player that they hope
Yeah, this guy,
he
I
could be.
think he'll be definitely better this year.
I think that he himself put too much pressure to play better, and it just killed him. So,
Mm.
um, I think now with Klingon coming in, and he might be good enough to start. In my opinion, he's like the fourth best player in this draft. So for him to be number seven, I think is a bit of a drop. It's a steal for Portland, but it's a good pick. So much size. Like the guy's 7'3". Like this is a guy you're gonna have competing with Wemby now, right? Like this is gonna be your rim protector. This is the guy who's always gonna be in the paint. Um, Shooting wise, I'm not sure how great he is, but
Mm.
um, these tall guys are starting to sort of work on the shot, and Portland's going to give him a ton of playing time, I think. So there's going to be a lot of room for development, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, this move by Portland definitely signals that they're done with DeAndre Ayton. I'm happy they're done
Yeah,
with this
yeah,
guy. He's not good. He's inconsistent. Anyone can look good on a bad team. I've been saying that for so many like months and whatever.
yeah.
But he's a winner. He's two-time winner at UConn, back-to-back championships. Dan Hurley guy. So you know he's like he has that winning mentality.
Has the winning
Right,
mentality.
best rim protector in the draft class. Everyone is unanimous. Overall ranked third. He's a big boy, 7'2", 282. So he's definitely not lanky. He's built. 7'7" wingspan. He needs to evolve as a scorer. That's the only downside. He's a
Hmm.
little slow, but like you're gonna be slow if you're that big. He struggles to make free throws. That can all be worked on. Your offensive game can be worked on. I think defensively, he's miles the best rim by miles, the best rim protector. So
Yeah,
they're probably gonna trade DeAndre Ayton, and Robert Williams is kind of like injury prone. But
he's
yeah,
very
I
much
think
injury
great
prone.
pick. Great pick by Portland.
Now we move on to,
First trade.
I think, yeah, the first trade of the draft, which was the Spurs trading away the eighth pick to the Timberwolves,
Hmm.
and they traded it away for a 2031 first round pick.
I think it was a 12-year-old.
That's what
Middle
all the
schooler.
jokes are right now. That Pop's been scouting the 12-year-olds right now to see, and they're
That
like,
sounds yo,
it
sounds
sounds
suck.
bad,
Sounds
but
bad.
I don't get the logic. Like
Hmm.
that is so long down the road. This guy could probably help you now, right? It's like, how come in that many years you think that you're gonna get a guy who's gonna help you more, and you're banking on the Timberwolves being worse at that time? I just I don't get it. I think that the T-Wolves got a good player in Dillingham.
Yeah.
This is a good move for a guy who is he moves like butter, man. Like he's
Yeah,
so
he's
good
like
with the ball.
smooth.
His ball
He's
handling
like
is
Kyrie
next
vibes,
level.
no?
This is the thing though. This is the kind of comparison he's going to get. It's going to be the Kyrie comparisons. He's going to become one of the best ball handlers in the NBA for
Hmm.
sure. And then it's just about the kind of minutes he gets with the Timberwolves, especially as they traded up to get him. So they wanted him,
Hmm.
which means that they have a plan for him and they're definitely going to have him play a bunch. And him and Anthony Edwards and Cat and Rudy Gobert and whoever else is on that team,
Jaden McDaniels.
this is a huge, huge addition for
I
them.
think, yeah.
It's even bigger because they're a successful team that just got better.
Yeah.
Right? They just
And
added
they
a
made it
guy
to the
who
Western
is
Western
going to be
Conference
almost, yeah,
finals, no?
yeah. They went to the rest. They lost to Dallas.
Dallas.
So this is a huge move for them.
Honestly, I kind of wish the Spurs kept him. I don't know why they, traded him, but man, I think this would have been the Raptors pick if they didn't trade.
Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah, that makes me pissed. Now I'm thinking about that. Oh my God. Could have had this guy. Whatever. We have quickly, but honestly, it's kind of like quickly. He's the best scorer in the draft.
Hmm.
I watched some videos of this guy. This guy's nasty. He averaged
Oh no.
15 points in 23 minutes as a six man at Kentucky. So, this guy can heat up. He's like a scorer. It's gonna be fun with him and Ant. And the Timberwolves definitely took him because Conley's getting up there in age. His contract's running out,
Yeah,
and they're
you're
gonna
looking for a
slot
replacement.
Dillingham. Yeah, and Rob Dillingham can be that six man. He is the only like knock on him is he is you know slim guy. He's 6'1", 164 pounds. We're both heavier than this guy.
Yeah,
You this guy,
but there's a common
he's
theme
just a
with guys who
scorer.
come to the NBA thin and they
Yeah,
beef up. So
yeah.
that's going to
This
be
guy's
what
definitely
people
gonna
will work
bulk.
on with
Like,
him.
gonna
Um,
bulk up.
yeah, but it's a good pick. Next nine are Canada's
Oh,
own Zach
that's our
Edey,
boy.
the Grizzlies. Went higher than I thought he was going to go. I'm not going to lie.
Me
I
too.
thought he was going to be out
Yeah.
of the top 15. Um, but he goes number nine. It it kind of makes some sense because the thing is they've got Valanciunas there right now, right? And they've got Steven Adams, right?
I think Steven Adams on the Pelicans now.
Okay,
Oh,
well they've
might
got
be no, Steven
Valanciunas.
Adams is on the Rockets, I think.
Okay, so they've got Valanciunas. I get it because Memphis is now in their sort of youth movement and having
Hmm.
Jaren Jackson and John Morant being in
Desmond
the
Bane.
form as they are,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's right, Desmond Bain as well.
We got Gigi
They,
Jackson.
they want their young center as well.
Mhm.
And Edie, I mean, defensively, the guy's great, and in the
Mhm.
paint, he's great. So it'll just be about mid-range and threes. He probably won't really be a factor, but he's also really slow, right? He doesn't
Yeah,
really have any
that's like
speed
one
to
of
him.
his knocks.
He's super, super heavy. So in a way, the positive is that he's really strong, but the negative is that all that size is really slowing him down. Um, so he probably will kind of, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to work on quickness with him. I don't know what kind of footwork they'll have to work on,
Yeah.
but they're going to have to speed him up because Memphis is a fast-paced team. All those guys are really, really quick. So he's going to have to be able to start keeping up with them. But this is a, even though it's a really weird spot to get picked for him, it seems really high.
Hmm.
This is, I think, the right team when it comes to opportunity for him to do well and like do something with
Hmm.
the position.
I think it's a good pick. My friend actually went to school with this guy because he's Canadian, if you didn't know, from Scarborough or Toronto, somewhere around there. But yeah, they needed this guy. Oh, God, sorry. Yeah, they needed this guy. Uh, 7'11". He's a big boy. He's almost 300 pounds. My God,
He's not seven
scared to
foot.
guard this guy.
He's not
Uh,
7'11".
I think it's a good pick because they can put Jaren Jackson at the four now. They put this guy at the five. Him and John Moran pick and roll. That's gonna be fun. Be
Yeah,
like,
yeah, it's gonna be good.
I think this guy's gonna lay some people out. Imagine running into this guy and setting a screen. You like get a concussion or some shit, you know?
It's gonna be
That's
crazy.
a pick, you know? But the question is it a reach? I don't know. A lot of people are saying, oh, is it a reach? Like he was
I
available, he
think
could
it is
trade
a
down.
reach, but at the same time, once again, this is a team that's good that underperformed this year, but they are a good team. Um, and so they just decided, let's just go get our guy. Let's not risk trading back. And I
Yeah,
feel like the NBA, like forever, teams just kind of take whoever they want. They
yeah,
don't really worry about value and position.
yeah.
They just go and take the guy that they want. So I don't think that this is a big deal because in a couple picks we're going to get to another guy who maybe is a reach, maybe he's not. But this is a
But they
I
needed
like
the
the pick
center.
because of the situation,
Yeah.
but I do agree that maybe top 10 is high.
But they needed a center. They got their
Okay.
center.
So it works out.
I ain't
Uh,
gonna lie, I don't know anything about number 10.
Cody
Cody Williams.
Williams.
You want
So
that one
this
first?
is the brother of who's the Williams on OKC?
Jalen Williams?
Jalen Williams. This is the
J-Dub,
brother
J-Dub.
of him, but two completely different play styles, right? Jalen Williams plays
Oh yeah,
kind
they do
of,
look like the
huh?
same nose. They got the same nose and the same hair.
They
Anyways,
look
yeah,
they look
off
very
him.
similar, but Cody Williams, I don't think he has the same size, and I think that
He's 6'7". He's not as
yeah,
bulky.
yeah, but he uses his frame a little bit more. He can't really create chances like how Jalen Williams does. So it's a good pick for Utah because they're getting a guy who one has someone who's already in the NBA, so it's not like he's technically not brand new, but pressure wise it'll be different. But Utah's kind of a good spot for a young player to go because
They're
the
rebuilding.
market there isn't crazy.
Yeah.
So there's not the same kind of pressure. Once again, they kind of need everything too, right? Utah kind
Yeah.
of needs everything. So they pretty much they got as close as you could to going for best player available, I think. Um,
Yeah.
it's questionable. There's a couple of other, but once again, this is merely
Hmm.
just a pick for a
Yeah.
guy that they probably liked in the interviews. They like that he's got a brother in the NBA, so he understands
Upside.
the game a little bit. He
Yeah.
understands the work ethic.
Hmm.
So I think it's a good pick.
Um, well, they're definitely drafting him on upside because he has the length. He's 6'7". He's a rangy perimeter player.
Yep.
But he has a bunch of weaknesses. He's not very strong, not a good
Mhm.
shooter, not very consistent.
Yeah.
But he was hampered with injuries too. But he had a good start
Hmm.
with Colorado. But I think they're definitely drafting him for upside purposes because it might take him a season or two to develop, but
Yep.
he has the potential to become a good player, I think.
Hmm.
And the Jazz, yeah, like you said, it's a good spot. No media pressure. It's the Jazz.
Exactly.
You know, he's playing. They needed a guard or forward. They have Walker Kessler already. They have Larry Markkinen, who might leave. Probably
Yeah.
they're gonna haul for him. They have Keontae George, Colin Sexton. So they needed a wing, like a taller wing. He's 6'7". He's probably still growing too. So no, I think it's a good pick. and then we'll
Yeah.
go
And
number
if you
11.
want to talk about pressure,
Yeah,
next pick for Chicago, they took Buzelis.
Matas Buzelis.
Yeah. I'll let you go with that one. What you think?
This guy's interesting. This guy has a lot of upside too. This guy's a big wing. He's 6'9", 197. He's from the G League Ignite too, so he has that experience playing with older men.
Hmm.
That's not wrong.
Older
Okay,
man.
but
He has the experience with guys who
yeah,
are
yeah.
I don't know how to say that in a
But
different way, but
he's thin and he has 6'10" wingspan. When you're 6'9" and you only have a 6'10" wingspan, it's not a good
yeah,
look. And especially he's lanky, but he's developing. He still has a streaky jumper, can be inefficient, but he has the rim protecting instincts too. He has bounce, explosive, versatile on both floors. But the Bulls they need something, after like you saw Kobe White had a great season.
yeah,
You saw, DeRozan, he's going towards the end of his career. He might leave,
yeah,
Levine's gonna leave. Vucevic might leave. They traded Caruso, so now they finally like, oh, we might have a rebuild, and they have Giddy too. So now you have Kobe White, you have DeRozan, Buzelis, Vucevic,
Levine.
Levine. Oh, Levine will get traded, and Giddy.
The thing
I
is that
think
they're
it's
struggling
big.
to trade Levine right now. They can't find a trade.
Yeah, because nobody wants that contract, and this guy like was injured the whole
The
year.
problem is that it's the injury proneness. He has so much upside, but he's just we'll get into this in the free agency episode as well. But
He was projected
overall,
top five.
yeah, yeah. So this is it's a good pick, and I
Mm.
mean, but
Mo-
like we were saying before, the pressure in Chicago is different, right? This state and this team is accustomed to, I shouldn't say state. This city is accustomed to winning, right? And the winning players, right?
yeah,
All the years of Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, Phil Jackson head coach, and they left that era and got into the Jimmy Butler era, and then that
you
era.
forgot the D Rose era,
That's right, D Rose era as well. That was a
like Boozer,
short-lived one,
Dang, Hibbs,
and
Noah.
then now they're getting into. They thought that they were entering the DeRozan Levine era, and it
Mm,
seems like it never really worked out. So
mm,
now they're looking for kind of the next big thing, right?
mm.
I think they're good at developing young players, but I think what this team is missing is they need to move DeRozan, in my opinion. I think it's just
Definitely. I
let him
mean,
go. Find a
he's
way to
still
get rid of
good too.
Levine. He's still good, so you'll get some value for him. Find a way to move Levine, even if you've got to give up less than what you want. Find a way to get rid of it,
Mhm.
and either go sign a star. And this is what I'm saying. This is just. I'm not saying this should happen. I'm just saying comparable. A guy like Paul George, who's about to, you know,
I think they should.
be around. I'm saying that they need a guy like that to join a team that has everything else, right? They've got
Yeah,
the sharpshooter and Kobe White. He's really good from the 3-point line. They're going to get this kid. We're going to see what he does. Maybe they're going to trade Vucevic, maybe they're not, but they're going to find a way to replace him at center. Then they
mm,
need someone else, someone who's going to be like, the quarterback of the team. They need to find someone who's going to run it. I'm not saying Paul George, I'm just saying a player like Paul George who's going to be available at some point. They need to find a way to, I'm not saying that's going to be this year. I'm saying in the future, they need to, or they just have to either they'll play poorly and they'll draft high, or they got to trade up and draft someone who they think is going to be the future star. Because right now they're in this weird sort of situation where they're not playing well
yeah,
and they don't look like they have any direction at all. So
yeah.
they need to restart, I think. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I think the Bulls they should just rebuild because you can see how much value they lost for Caruso. They didn't get any picks.
Yeah.
This guy's a 3-and-D player. He's all NBA 2 time, and you could should have traded him earlier this year. I think people were offering 2 first-round picks, and now you just get Giddy. Giddy's cool and all, but you could have had some picks. You could have had more if you
Yeah.
traded him earlier. And that's what the Bulls are. They're afraid. They're doing what the Raptors were afraid to do, or like all these other teams, like the Magic a few years ago. They blew up their core. They traded their stars. And ultimately, the Bulls have been very mediocre, very mid. They're like the Hawks,
Yeah.
10 seed, 9 seed, 8 seed. Cool. We're happy to be here in the playoffs. And then we just get bounced in the first round.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think just need to rebuild and trade their stars because it's already too late. They're losing so much value. But move on to pick 12.
Yeah, so I think that
Look
this
for
will be the
every
last
pick.
pick in this order that we'll highlight. I think 12 is.
I want to go one more.
We go one more. Okay.
Devin Carter. I
Um,
want to do Devin Carter.
Nikola
Awesome.
Topic,
Yeah.
number 12.
Nikola Topic.
Okay, see, the reason why this one is a big deal is because I don't know, where would you have him projected going if he wasn't hurt?
I mean,
Let's say
wasn't hurt. I heard he was going top 10 if he wasn't hurt.
so that's what I was hearing.
He had an
I was
ACL
hearing that
injury.
he could have been a potential top five pick,
Yeah, even
but he
I think it
slips
was like
because of
yeah,
this. And OKC, I like the move because they're not in a position where they need someone right now that's
yeah,
like a young player.
yeah,
So even though he's got the torn ACL, I think it's a torn ACL.
yeah.
Um, he's gonna be out for the year, but this is gonna give him a chance now to just get accustomed to the environment. He
I
should be
know.
at all the games. He should be at every single practice. He should be working with all the coaches as much as possible, and he should just be getting used to the surroundings, getting used to everybody. Because when he is healthy for next, not next season, but the season after, and he's ready to go, him and Chet and Shea and whoever else
J-Dub,
be on this offense
Dort,
is going to be
Caruso.
scary. It's going to be so good. So having him, this is kind of like a Chet situation. He missed the whole entire first
Exactly.
season.
Set out a year.
Exactly. This
They're
is
not in a rush.
yeah.
They made the Western Conference semifinals without like any expectation. So I think it's a great pick. He's the
Yeah.
best pick and roll shot creator in the draft. He's only 18 years old.
Well,
And
and this won't stop them from signing anyone because they're not worried about someone taking his spot because he won't be ready.
yeah.
So they can still do whatever they wanted to do in free
Mm,
agency and hopefully add some experience to that
yeah.
team because this team is worthy of a championship in the next 3 to 5 years, I think.
Yeah.
So
Honestly, this guy gives like Josh Giddey vibes, like play style wise. Not
yeah,
and not not that other
yeah,
stuff.
not the other kind of guy.
He's a good passer. 6'6" point guard. That's
Mhm.
literally what Giddey was. But the only thing is the injury. I think it's a great pick. Sit out a year, get feel for it, and the experience, whatever. Get accustomed to the draft, get your body ready, get nice and healthy, and then come in the season after.
Yeah.
Uh,
All
so the
right.
last thing to do in
Now,
the order,
yeah. Now Sacramento. This is your guy. So let's hear it.
Devin Carter. He's a defensive menace apparently, and he's tenacious guard. He averaged 19, basically 20 points and 9 rebounds a game.
Hmm.
As a point guard, that's pretty crazy. He's only 6'2", averaging almost 9 rebounds as a
Yeah.
point.
For and
Yeah,
6'2" now is considered kind of undersized as well.
yeah.
So he's doing a good
This
job.
guy hustle though, but the only thing is his ball handling, shot creation. But that stuff can
And I'm
come.
guessing that this is why they traded Davion Mitchell.
Yeah, they didn't want to pay Davion Mitchell because they didn't want to go over the tax. I
Yeah.
think the Raptors made a great pick, sending Jaden McDaniels or
No,
Jalen, one of them,
Jalen
whatever.
Daniels.
Jalen, yeah,
Yeah.
Jalen McDaniels is hot garbage. I'm so happy we traded him. This guy made some.
Yeah.
This guy hurt my brain, but yeah, it's a great pick by Sacramento. You get the six man, back up De'Aaron Fox. Maybe even if that happens, start both of them. Maybe, but they're both undersized. But
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox, he's not the best defender. He's fast, quick, get your steals, but Carter will like harass you. It was a
Yeah.
great pick. Um, then move on to
So
pick
we'll move
six
on to
under
yeah, pick
16.
16, McCain, Jared
Jared
McCain.
McCain.
I gotta say, I thought he was gonna go higher than 16. I thought he was gonna be closer to 12. I thought he was gonna be.
I,
The
I I
76
had him
is
I
kind
had
of
him
yeah.
around here, like
You
mid
did?
grade. He was overall
Okay.
ranked 15. They got him at 16. He's
I
a great
thought because of
shooter.
his run with Duke in March Madness, sometimes it really elevates a
Yeah,
player.
yeah,
So I thought I was gonna do it. I like the spot in
yeah.
Philly. Um, I don't know really how much playtime he's gonna get this year.
I
Um,
think he might be six man because they only have 3 people or now 4 people signed on the roster. Because the Sixers
maybe
have
so.
60 million cap, and then maybe they'll use an Paul George and the rest on to fill out the roster spots on some wings.
Yeah.
But McCain, great shooter.
I
You
like I
can
like the
have enough
pick because
shooters
it,
on your
it
team.
only improves Philly. I
Yeah,
think this was a guy who was more talked about coming through.
yeah,
Not just because of the stuff off the court, but also just on the court. He's a good player and also playing for a school that's really highly regarded. So it's a good pick. Um, now 17. This one's talked about a lot too.
it's a great pick.
Connect.
Maybe the steal of the draft.
For the Lakers. This was a guy that LeBron talked about earlier in the year that he really, really liked. and now the Lakers come and get him. And this, I also agree that this is one of the picks of the draft. The guy's just he's really efficient, really good with the ball. And I think he's gonna get quite a bit of time with the Lakers because they have no idea what their lineup looks like right now. Like they have
Mhm.
openings besides LeBron and AD, they have openings all around. So I think that I like this pick. I really do.
Yeah, it's a great pick. I
One of their
think,
first hits in a little while.
yeah, he's a great scorer. He can do everything. He can shoot. He can finish. He can draw fouls. The only bad thing is not a rebounder or defender, but you don't need to be that when you have AD on your team, But obviously, evolve is that. And the reason why he fell this far, I heard, is because he's older. But
Yeah, he's
he's
one of the older
23.
players, but for that's actually perfect for the
Yeah,
Lakers because
because
they
they
need
want to
a
win
guy
now. They
who-
would need a guy with experience. And then you saw Reddick was already drawing plays up for this guy because he's a sharpshooter.
Yeah, I heard about
The
that. You're right.
scorer. This guy's nasty. He put up 40 and 37 against Kentucky and Purdue. These aren't small schools, they're big schools.
Yeah,
It's consistent offensively. I think it's a great pick. People forget that Cam Johnson was 22 when he got drafted with the Suns.
yeah.
They made the finals run with the Phoenix.
Well, also, I'm really excited to see, like in general, what Reddick does with young players because I honestly I think of all of the strengths he's going to have, I think developing younger guys is going to be one of his strong points. Because I remember when he was with Philly and they had Markel Fultz and he was struggling and then he got hurt. He was working on his shot, trying to change it, and Reddick was defending him like crazy. And I think that that's a really good quality in a coach, especially a guy of his caliber who played for so many years in the NBA. He's
Yeah.
got so much experience. He's got a ton of pedigree. Obviously not a champion, but um,
Mhm.
just a really, really good player, especially shooting wise. So now to get a player like
Yeah.
this and to already hear that he's like the moment that you hear that the coach has already been drawing up plays, you know that he was excited to get this guy, right?
Mhm.
They probably thought that, oh, other teams are really not seeing his value, and they knew that they were going to get him at 17. And so it's getting a lot of hype, and I really, really hope it works out because I think it's a good move.
Yeah. And I think people forget that like people say, "Oh, Reddick's just a player, whatever." Like just because you're a player doesn't mean you're going to translate to a good coach. Like I saw the interview. People forget that JJ Reddick has played for some good coaches. He's played for Coach K, arguably one of the best coaches of all time, like
Yep.
ever. He's played for Jeff Van Gundy as well. Or is it
Yep.
Steve? It was Stan Van Gundy,
Dan Van Gundy.
and they reached the finals against the Lakers. I think it
Mhm.
was in 09. Yeah,
Yep.
brought them to the NBA Finals. Yeah, he played with Doc Rivers, but like still, look at all these coaches. He's getting like good things from
All
all
these
of them.
coaches, but also think about all these players he's played with, right?
Yeah, too.
DeAndre
Yeah,
Jordan, Blake Griffin, Chris Paul.
Chris Paul's the big one. Dwight Howard. He's and players he played against LeBron. He's played against
Well, he's
Kobe.
played
So
against everybody in the league right
yeah,
now. If you think about it, like he has such a recent experience being against these players that
yeah,
he'll have a different kind of understanding of them. So
yeah.
I love it, right? Because
I
also
mean,
when
he
he was
only
with
retired
Philly,
like what, 3 years ago, 2 years
23 years
ago.
ago, and when he was with Philly, I think that Jimmy Butler was there at that time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons was there at that time too. And you want to talk about Markel Fultz, who was the first overall pick at that time, so he saw that kind of impact.
yeah.
So he's been around these kinds of players. He's played with them, he's
Hmm.
excelled with them, and he's seen against all. He's played against LeBron, he's played against AD, he's played. I don't know if he's played against Luca that much, but he's played. He has experience against these guys.
Hmm.
So I think it's a perfect situation for a rookie. The Lakers, it's a high pressure place, but the pressure's still. Bronny getting drafted today was takes all the pressure off of him. So
Yeah,
I think that right now this is kind of the perfect storm for him and this team.
yeah. Now we'll get to
Is
pick
there anyone
19.
else? Is there anyone else in the first round that you want to talk about?
Raptors pick 19.
Raptors pick 19. Okay.
Jacoby Walter, 6'4" out of Baylor.
Mhm.
I thought he was taller. Oh, with shoes, he's like 6'5", 6'6". But yeah, he's a 3-and-D guy. Um, the Raptors love the 3-and-D guys.
Yep.
Um, he's dynamic shot making, but he's like a project. He's not
Seems like
gonna
the Raptors are kind of in
start.
their project stage right now. Like
Yeah, they realized build around Scotty Barnes, which is why they gave him the extension.
yeah.
But I think he's 6'10" wingspan. You can't ask for more. He's lengthy. He's
Yeah.
gonna defend 6'4". Um, I think he's gonna be a great fit. Uh, nice value pick. You didn't reach for him. He was
Yep.
projected 14. You got him at
Once you get out of the top 15, it really
yeah,
does just become unless someone drops who should have
Yeah.
been in the top 15. It just becomes about selecting who
Mhm.
you like. And the Raptors have never shied away from that. Like when they took Scotty Barnes at 4 over Jalen Suggs, everyone was like, "What are they doing?" And right now, that pick is looking really, really good. So they're doing what they want. I believe in the scouting team over there. I think that the Raptors have done some really good job growing talents over the years. Notable ones being DeRozan and Kyle Lowry, Siakam, Boucher,
Van Vliet,
Leet. So I mean, they know
Jakob.
what they're doing. So yeah, Pirtle as well. So they know what they're doing. So I definitely believe in the
Move
situation.
on to pick 29. You want to talk about Isaiah Collier?
Okay, yeah. In Utah, what are you thinking about
Yeah,
him?
the Jazz picked him. He's projected rank 23. This guy, I think, was before college. He was the first round, first pick,
Hmm.
first overall pick, top five for sure.
Yeah.
He's a big, strong guard, knows how to score, great in the open court, bully defenders. This guy's a 6'3", 205. That's not a small guy, you know?
Hmm.
But struggles with turnovers, could fix the shooting a little bit, and he's a little turnover prone.
Yeah.
But he's putting the Jazz again, no pressure.
It's a
He'll
once
probably be
again
starting
perfect
behind,
situation.
probably
And he's
six man.
definitely going to get some playing time. He's
Yeah,
definitely
gonna
going
be
to.
six man. The Jazz are young. He's
Yeah.
gonna be behind Sexton and Keontae George. I think it's a good pick by the Jazz. Great value. They didn't reach or anything.
Yeah, I like it. And I think now, all right, we'll talk about one more player before we move to Bronny. I think we'll kind of get into that part of the draft now. Was Philip Kowski, I think is his name.
Yeah, Kyle Philip. I heard some crazy stuff about this
So
guy. I
did
don't know.
I. That's why we're going to talk about it because this guy, I don't know where he was projected. I think
He was
definitely
first
first
round.
round, but I think maybe top 20. I think Utah took him as well. And there's some rumor going around that like his girlfriend like kind of brainwashed him. And so then because of that, he left his family and his friends and just sort of integrated with her.
Yeah,
She was
sister and
dating
mom,
him. Like
or
she's
brother and
like
mom.
I think that she's 28 and he's like 20 or
No, no,
something.
she's 26.
She's 26, but she
But
started dating him in high
yeah,
school.
she went to prom with him. Imagine you're 24 as a prom. If the roles were reversed, this guy would be the guy would be in
Let's
jail.
leave this. Let's
Oh,
leave
okay,
this out
okay,
of here.
sorry, sorry.
Yeah, but
But he's
we
seven
know what you're
foot.
thinking. Everyone's thinking the same
Yeah,
thing. It's insane. But just I we just had to highlight that was the fact that I was wondering why he's dropping, and it was because in the interviews, people were just kind of weirded out by the fact that he couldn't answer the questions about his girlfriend and the age gap and all that.
yeah.
And instead of
People
giving
were questioning that.
they were asking him about like
That's
the age
weird.
gap. Yeah, it
Nah,
is weird that he shouldn't have dropped for that reason. But Utah, they get a good player. Like they got a first round player in the second round, so they will not be upset in that category of it. We'll see
yeah,
how it plays out because now once you get into the top league, everything comes out. Nothing can
yeah.
stay hidden, right?
Nothing's
All,
hidden. You
people
get
people find
20-year-old tweets coming out.
exactly. And now we'll move to the star of the show.
I just want to say this guy's a steal.
Yeah.
He's a 7 foot who can shoot, dribble, and pass. Only thing is the defense. But you got Walker Kessler. Maybe you can help him out with that. 6'11". He's
Yeah, we'll see.
projected 21. But Utah probably had one of the best drafts. I'd say Utah and Minnesota.
Yeah, these three picks, I don't know if they had another one in the second round, but these three picks were three. For now, they look really good, really steady picks. Cody Williams, um, was it Collier, and then
Yeah, Filipowski.
Volkowski. So, all right, last pick we're gonna talk about, star of the show. Good old LeBron James Jr., Bronny James. This guy, 55th pick. Lots of weird stuff coming out that Rich Paul was telling teams not to draft him
Yeah,
because
or else he's going to
he didn't want,
Australia.
yeah. Once again, choosing where he wants to go. Now, I think he might have done that just for Bronny's image to be like,
Mhm.
oh, there's other teams that want him, but we don't want them to take him. I don't know if I believe it, right? Like he doesn't really have a college tape.
Yeah,
Like there's really nothing. So the Lakers did this to, I think, just even though they won't admit it, they did this to make LeBron happy. They did this to kind of help make this kid's dream come true. Um, and unfortunately, the amount of criticism he will receive for this is gonna, we'll see. If he can survive this criticism and he can show up at the beginning of the season and who knows, maybe he is an unbelievable player, but he has to live to this insanely high standard for a 55th pick, right? Like
Mhm.
this is Unfortunately, he's not going to get the same kind of development time that other second round or first round picks will get. They're going to
Yeah.
treat him like he went number one. The cameras are
Mhm.
going to be on him like crazy.
Players are gonna head
LeBron,
on him. I think you gotta watch out for Braun. Braun's not gonna let you bully his son.
well, and this, I think that this solidifies LeBron staying now. I expect him
Yeah.
to
No,
sign
you
an
already
extension soon.
think he has the extension, no?
Oh, the rumor is that he's going to sign a 3-year extension for like
Oh my
160.
God, this could be what, 42, 41?
It's a
Crazy.
big deal, but the Lakers want to keep him, and obviously they do, right? And I think once you get that late into the draft, I think that at that point you're only drafting for who you like. So you can't really
Mm.
criticize the pick that much. I know that people will say that, oh, he took a spot away from someone else that should have been picked there, but it's like
Who cares?
it
If you
doesn't
really
matter.
if the team really
If the
wants
guy
you,
is
they'll
that
get you
good, the team will just sign them
undrafted.
undrafted, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not going to be that kind of issue. Um, LeBron kind of forged this Bronny's way in, but listen, Bronny can make it all go away if he works with LeBron, he works with this team, and hopefully they take him in. Hopefully they don't, have this kind of negativity toward him, but hopefully if they do that and the coaches work with him, and JJ Redick will work with him because he loves
Yeah.
LeBron. Um, and they can find a way to help him succeed, then it all goes away. Then it becomes, you know what, this was a steal. This kid had first round talent, right? So people will start saying. So let's see, because I assume he's going to play in the summer league. I assume that he is going to have chances to show up. Maybe he's not going to play 25 minutes,
In
but
garbage times, maybe like 5 minutes, 10
yeah.
minutes,
And
maybe not
LeBron has to
even.
understand that too.
Yeah.
But LeBron will also hope that at some point, they're both on the floor at the same time.
Yeah.
And because listen, this is the first father-son duo in NBA history, and having them both on the floor is that's crazy. Like if you think about from a family perspective, like that's next level. So I don't know how much better LeBron's other son is, Maximus or whatever his name is, but
Oh, Bryce. Bryce.
Bryce. I don't know. I don't know how much better he is, but you never know. He might also find his way to the NBA. But otherwise, I mean, it's it's a crazy pick, but it's not one that really impacts the draft because the Lakers, it's unlikely that you're going to get someone that's going to impact you from that spot. I know it's
Yeah.
possible, but the likelihood changes, and at the end of the day, they got a really marketable athlete, if anything. So they're gonna sell a ton of tickets for game one. They're gonna sell a ton of magazines and photo shoots and whatever else, commercials. They're gonna run away with this. So at least for now, it's an okay pick.
I think it was an okay pick. I mean, he didn't reach or anything. It's
Nope.
55th pick, right?
Yeah.
Or
At,
57th?
at that point, you're drafting for who you want.
Yeah,
55.
it's like who cares, You guys, I don't know why grown men are so obsessed with this kid.
Yeah.
This kid almost died and he's
Yeah, he
got
had that
drafted.
heart condition.
The hell is wrong with people, nowadays? You guys are just haters. You guys are
Well,
just
and the thing about the Lakers, they got their guy at 17. They got
yeah,
the
so
big
why does
guy
it matter?
connect. So I mean, they don't I think that the position is fine. But yeah.
But people are like underlooking or overlooking Bronny because he is athletic as hell. He is a 40-inch, 41-inch vert,
Mhm.
basically, which is the fourth highest among the combine. He shot 19 for 25 in the three-point shooting
He was
drill.
around top five
Shoot.
and everywhere in the combine, right? So,
Yeah, he's so he's athletic. He has the genes. He's 6'1" without shoes. Wingspan is 6'7", which is comparable to Gabe Vincent or Gary Harris. And these guys are great players. These are great role players. Well, Gabe Vincent before, and Gary Harris before, but you know what I mean. And he played great at the scrimmages. He's
mhm.
you see all these comps with Drew Holiday or Miles
Yeah,
McBride,
he's
and
just got
that's
to
not a
work
bad
on
thing.
being able to get himself open with the ball. He's
Yeah,
not good with it, but if he does get open, he proved at least at the combine that you give him an open shot, there's a super high chance he's going to make it. So, which you can't say for every single player in the NBA. So,
yeah,
I think it's okay. I think that there is a pressure in a way, but I feel like it's not insane. I think it's just more of people are like, should he really have been taken? But
yeah.
all he has to do is drop 10, 15 points, and it's like, well, actually, you know what? He's playing better than most second rounders. So,
I know, and he went from 98 overall to not to number 54. It's a crazy jump just off the scrimmages and combine.
yeah,
Shows this guy has the potential.
yeah.
That's a 40 jump. You know,
And plus, the Suns were interested in him. So, I know everyone's saying that some of the interest is coming because they were thinking that maybe they could
Suns.
get LeBron,
Yeah.
but what I'm just saying is that other teams had some interest, right? So it's not like he had 0% interest, he shouldn't have been taking all that. It was like there was still a slight threat that something could happen. But yeah, I think that kind of wraps it up. I think that we kind of